tips for you from Brianna Wiest on how you cannot sabotage yourself, ways that you can check yourself and know, okay, I'm on the right track, so that you don't get to actually read the book. But I know some of you are so busy to even go through the book. That's why actually I'm doing this, to enlighten you, also to encourage you to read the book. And if you can't, I also do share some tips on it. So let's jump right into. If you didn't see the previous video I did on how we always sabotage ourselves, I went into an in-depth of just sharing some of them, and I'm here again sharing 30 tips on how you can be on track, how you can ensure that you don't sabotage yourself in your daily life. So tip number one, and by the way I've written them on my book. I always write everything down just so that I don't forget, because again, I'm a mom and mommy mind sometimes just jump off. You just forget. Yeah? Innocently forget actually. So tip number one, schedule time to play. Just like kids always have their own time to just explore and just play and just engage and do all that, you as an adult also should schedule your time to play. Just play, be it a chess, ludo, anything, just play. Like, let's just play. Second tip is, you should schedule time to do absolutely nothing. Like, totally nothing. Just let your mind think. Schedule a time to absolutely do nothing. Just rest. Like, just rest. Remember, when you rest, you are productive. Like, when you rest, your body rests, your mind rests, your heart rests. The time you're trying to do something else, you're always super productive. Yeah, so schedule a time to rest. Tip number 3 is, beware of what you give your energy to. I hope by now you understand, or you know, that some energies are transferable. Any other time you meet people with negative energy, they always share that energy to you without you knowing at some point. Any other time you engage with people with different weird negative energy, it is always shareable, and so does positive energy. When you get yourself in a space where people are energetic, are positive, are thinking out loud and all that, at some point you'll just realize that you've borrowed that type of energy. And this also goes for partners. Yeah, energy is shareable. That's why there was what was she called? Oh my god, I've forgotten. I told you I read a lot of things. There was this woman who was talking about how energies are transferable, and she was like, you should actually have one partner. One partner is very healthy, because the energies you exchange, because you guys exchange energies. So imagine if you have multiple partners, you always borrow an energy here, borrow an energy here, there, and there. You just end up as a very confused person. Yeah, so beware of what you give your energy to, and sometimes also it involves what you are doing at that particular point. What have you focused on? Is it worth your energy? Like, is it worth you just dedicating your time and your effort to it? Is it worth it? Just ask yourself if it is worth it. So Brianna Wiest says, just beware of the energy you give, because this always ends up, this totals up on you either sabotaging yourself or doing something that you really honestly don't want to do. Number 4, see challenging times as opportunities for transformation. Often at times that we face challenges, and you just feel so down, everything, you forget everything that you've conquered, everything that you've achieved, and it totals up to 0. So see challenging times as opportunity to transform. Can you find the good thing in the bad thing? Yeah, try find a good thing in every bad situation. Yeah, get to see it in both positive and negative way. I know it's hard sometimes, you're going through something and you know how you'll overcome, but try your best to see challenges as a way of transformation. Number 5, learn something new as often as you can. This involves from people, reading, internet, you can actually use the internet positively. Yeah, learn as much. Make sure I made a promise to myself that every single day I'll try and learn something new. Yeah, every single day I have to learn something new. And let me tell you guys, there is nothing as good as knowledge. Knowledge is wealth. When you know something, that is wealth, because you can actually turn it around and let it work for you. So learn something new every day. According to Brianna Wiest, tip number 5, nurture positive relationship when you have them. Sometimes when you're sabotaging yourself, you always destroy every single thing around you, and sometimes you just don't notice you destroy your relationship with your family, your friends, your work, anything, partnerships and all that. Sometimes it's knowingly, sometimes it's unknowingly, and most of the times that it is knowingly, you always do it as a way of a coping mechanism. It always acts out as a coping mechanism. You feel if you filter them out, you're gonna feel okay, which is not actually true. Yeah, so learn to keep friendships. It's actually what I'm learning to do. I want to nurture the relationships that I have right now, and I want to keep them. I want them to be as healthy as possible. And I see how it works out, because I think it got to a point I didn't know how to take care of the few relationship I had. So yeah, relationship is both-sided. You have to look out for somebody, and they have to look out for you. That's the only way it's going to work. So that's actually something that I'm doing. And then lean into little joys when you find them. I mean, you have to find joy in every single little thing, however tiny, small, teeny thing it is. You have to find joy in it. St. Ignatius of Loyola has a unit called Magis, where their main theme is seeing good thing in everything. You have to find something good in even the worst of the worst. Yeah, so try as much as possible every single day. Find something good in every single thing, in every single person. Don't see the negatives. Be as positive as you can. That way you're going to find a way that you actually always never sabotage yourself in every given way. And then another tip is to arrive into present. How many of you have stuck on the past? How many of you? The past is holding you from moving forward? Like, you don't even see what's happening in the present. You don't even recognize. But what's happening in the past, you're so much familiar with. That is what is making you to sabotage yourself. Arrive in present. Live in present. Enjoy what is happening in present. Be aware of everything that's happening in the present, in your surrounding. You're really going to find joy in that. And that's way of you not sabotaging yourself. Yeah? Yeah. Another tip is trying to assert dominance. Stop trying to assert dominance. Don't dominate every other place that you find. Yeah, assert dominance. Find a way. Uh, this year I started saying that I'm going to always make sure that when I get somewhere, I have to make sure I read the room, so that I know my entry time and I know my exit time. Yeah, so that I don't overstay my stay. Is that English honestly correct? Well, yeah, find a way that you just don't dominate in a certain area. Just, it comes also with you listening you more than talking. Yeah, you listening more than doing the talking. You always read a lot, understand a lot, and it adds up to more of it adds up to just your own personal behavior, etiquette, and all that. But at the end of the day, you're trying to not sabotage yourself. You're trying to find a way on you to just move forward of your life in a way that you're adding value in your life and you're not taking away. I hope I've made sense with that. Yeah, another tip that Brianna is talking about on how to stop sabotaging yourself is stop trying to be happy. Yeah, when I first read it, I actually wanted to put the book away, because how is she telling me to stop trying to be happy? But then she goes ahead and saying, you're not supposed to try and be happy. you're not supposed to actually try happiness, to chase happiness. Happiness is supposed to exist within you. Yeah, yeah, happiness is something that you're not supposed to really work hard to find, to chase it like a goal and all that. No, happiness is supposed to exist around you. Yeah, you have to create an environment where there's just happiness. You're always smiling. Have you ever gotten friends or people who are ever smiling? However the situation is bad, you're so worried, but they're just smiling. Like they find a balance in their life where they're just happy. Yeah, happiness should exist around you. You have to create an environment where it just exists. You don't have to chase it. That way you will not find yourself at any point sabotaging yourself. And then she talks about honoring your discomfort, for it is trying to feed you something. Honor your discomfort, for it is trying to tell you something. Have you ever been comfortable with something? You are honestly uncomfortable, but you're not working towards it. If you're uncomfortable with something, I think I was listening to a podcast where they were explaining how the gut actually works, and they were talking about the gut, where the gut is situated, starts from where the gut is situated. So the gut always sends a message to the brain at every given point when there is something that is perceived that is wrong, that is food waste and all, right? So if it can detect that and send a message to the brain, then it means there are some chemicals that are released which always sends a message to your brain that tells you, hey, act up, this is not true, or this is not false, or this is going to get worse. So you're supposed to act up and tell yourself, move. So that's why so many people are always like, follow your gut, but you really have to follow your gut wisely, yeah? Because sometimes it's not actually what it feels like. Sometimes you're just scared, sometimes you're just thinking out loud and all that. But most of the time, when I follow my gut, I'm always on the right track, especially when I'm uncomfortable. When you get to a place where I'm uncomfortable, it is trying to tell you something. So can you work on that? Can you work around that and actually solve the particular puzzle? So Brianna Wiest is trying to tell us that honor your discomfort, for it is trying to tell you something. So when you're uncomfortable, it should be telling you something. Yeah, especially when you're sabotaging yourself. As a person who was sabotaging herself, sometimes you're uncomfortable and you just don't want to say because you want to please people, you want to make the moment last, or you want to just you don't want to destroy the whatever that's going on at that particular point. But it doesn't help, because the moment you get used to that, defending yourself or speaking out loud becomes a problem. So honor those discomforting times. They're actually telling you something. Yeah. Okay, the next tip is then take triggers as signal because your wounds need attention. Triggers for signal. Take your triggers as signal because your wound need attention. While reading the book, there is a chapter that's talking about on the last page, when she's trying to show us how we can overcome sabotaging. She was talking about when, say, let me give an example, when you really are into alcoholism, yeah? Alcoholism becomes a coping mechanism. Yeah, so when it becomes a coping mechanism, the minute you realize, wait, this has been a coping mechanism, you need to go back and trace what are the times that trigger me to drink. Yeah, what are the times that trigger you to drink? Then when you realize that, then it means when you get to know, okay, this and this always triggers me to do a certain thing, it means you can work around that. And so that, let's say, it's smoking. Anytime you want to smoke, you will, instead of smoke, you will eat something like a banana. Instead of smoking, that particular point you will go run. Instead of smoking, you will go maybe jog, exercise to the gym and all that. You see, your triggers have helped you to face whatever that's going on, and you actually come out strong. So use your trigger signals and face whatever that you really have to face. It also boils down to when something happened to you and you're in the process of healing. Any other time something triggers that, maybe I don't know, whichever thing that triggers that, you can actually, instead of diverting it, you can actually face it and work something around, so that when the trigger comes, you have a punch. It punches something and it just bounces back. It's no longer affecting you, and day by day you see, or you'll get yourself growing even more healthy mind-wise. Take your time, because you don't need to figure everything out now. Whoa, that is so me. I'm the kind of person, however, this is not about self-sabotaging. I'm the kind of person that believes in solving something there and then, especially as a mom. This came after I realized, I have two kids. The youngest is 1 year, 1 month. And as a mom, if you postpone to do something, you won't do it, and it will pile up. Yeah. So as a mom, I've realized when I need to deal with something, I have to deal with something there and then. That means tidying up. If I leave a toy down and they get it, they'll play with it, and then there's an urge of them adding so much. So by the time you realize the room is full of toys and you can't do anything, because at the end of the day you just allow them to play, let them be kids, and then you'll tidy up. But come to think of it, it's an added job for you as a mom, because again, you have a lot of things you have to juggle throughout the day. Yeah? So I'm the kind of person who wants to deal with something there and then, but then I realize it goes down to everything. Yeah, it started as a mom thing, but then it started pouring down to anything. So if there is something that's disturbing me, I want to deal with it there and then, so that I move on. If it's something that really needs to be sorted right now, I really need to sort it right now, so that I don't forget. However, imagine you don't have to do it. I was telling you, I honestly don't have to deal with it right now. I can actually give myself room, so that I think and think and think. Then when I factor things out wisely, I can now come back to it. And it's an added advantage, because again, you're pressuring people on, because you want things to be done your way, and that particular point. And I know this always comes out, especially with people at work. You want to finish the pile of work there and then, so that you move to the next. But then imagine you can just take a minute, relax, then come figure that all out. It is actually going to work even better for you. You'll have, at that particular point, you'll be thinking so much, so wisely. You'll even engage your friends and all that. Yeah, so you really don't have to face everything there and then. You can actually check a minute and think about it. Therefore, you don't have an extra pressure. You don't have anxieties and all that. I think that was one of my takeouts. That was my favorite of them all, from Brianna Wiest. Yeah. Another tip is talk it out, because things are often complicated in your head. Guilty as charged. Yeah. I'm so guilty as charged. Have you ever started a scenario in your head? You created a movie, a whole set of movie. You added characters, you added even what do we call it? Extra actors. It even has a break. You come back, you continue thinking. Things are always complicated in your head. With your head, you can actually think and think and think. That's what you have brain. Yeah. But actually, when you talk it out loud, it makes more sense. Yeah. Take an example of solving a problem. What you always do when you give an information, you always perceive it differently. But when you talk it out with the affected person or with the involved person, it always does make sense at the end of the day, right? So don't be a person who always keeps things deep. You pile up things in your head, your heart. By the time they realize they're now exploding. You're exploding, you're full of rage, you're full of anger, you don't know how to handle it, and you take it out on different people who are not even involved in whatever you are going through. So things are so complicated in your head. You have a lot of things that you're thinking and juggling and all that. So always talk it out, so that you can solve a problem always. Another tip on how you can not sabotage yourself by Brianna Wiest is forget what happened and forget on how you will make it right. When something happens, I've gotten to an age where if something happens, it has already happened and I cannot change it. However, making it right is my responsibility. I've made it my responsibility. I have to think it through. Did I have something to do with it? If I did, it has already happened, yeah? I have to accept, it has already happened, but how do I make it right? Talking it out can make it right, solving it does make it right, something, and so on and so forth. We all have different ways on how we solve things. Um, but facing something when it has already happened always helps us move on with the life and live in the present life rather than holding back grudges. It always takes away from you. Even in the Bible, you have to forgive and forget, and it's even written that you have to forgive 77 times 7, I think, a day. Yeah, so you have to forgive, forget, move forward. It's even easier for you in your heart. Yeah, just love yourself more. Again, another tip is learn how you feel better. Learn how to feel better by processing complex emotions. Learn how to feel better. When I was reading that, I was like, are you trying to tell us to develop a coping mechanism of some sort? So when something happens, this is how I deal with it. I always think of the worst case scenario. Because now this is complex, you don't even know how to solve. I always think of the worst case scenario. And when I think about worst case scenario, most of the time it's actually something that will not end up happening. But I thought of the worst case scenario. What would happen in this situation? What is the worst that can happen? And what is the better part that can happen with this situation? And that has always helped me juggle so many things actually. Yeah, because sometimes something has happened and you're thinking in your head, and now how will I even solve it? Yeah, I always think of the worst case scenario and the best side of the scenario, and that has always helped me. So again, different people have different ways to this particular tip. Maybe indicate down below so that we can learn from each other. For me, that's how I solve. So learn how to feel better by processing complex information. I know it's hard at that particular point when it's happening. It's always hard, and you're always thinking and thinking and thinking and thinking and thinking. Just find a way to process it. Yeah. Take responsibility for your outcomes, and yes, and the aftermath. Take responsibility. I mean, this is the best thing. It's the hardest yet the best thing. Taking responsibility of your action. Be the kind of person when you wrong somebody, you don't wait for them to remind you, hey, you hurt me. No. Be the kind of person of acknowledging, hey, I wronged you, I did wrong, and I'm sorry. That alone can solve a lot of things. Be that kind of person. It is so healthy. Actually, it is the hardest thing for somebody to do, yet the best thing that you can ever do when you're in a situation. Yeah. Another tip on how you can stop sabotaging yourself is ask for help, because you're not supposed to know everything. I mean, sometimes you feel like you're a genius, have you met those people who are know-it-alls and they always know everything? Okay, sometimes they do know everything, but you can't know everything. There has to be something that you actually don't know. There has to be something that you're really poor at. So always ask for help. Always ask for. Don't feel bad about asking for help. Ask for help. Let people help you. You are human, Bana. You don't have to know everything. And sometimes when you are actually, because I teach a lot of teenagers and all that, sometimes you know something, but you just assume you don't know. You just keep quiet and you assume you don't know. Let them just tell you. It always makes them feel good, because actually they feel they know more that you don't know. and it's educative, and it always ends up to be a very good, interesting class by the way. Yeah. So ask for help as much as you can. Humble yourself, because it is not all about you. Yeah, humble yourself. Even in the Bible, you have to humble yourself. It says, humble yourself before the Lord. There's even a song, and He will lift you up. You have to be humble in everything you do, with everybody that you do it with, in your environment, in your environs. Humble yourself. Don't be the one who is always big and mighty and all that. Just humble yourself. Yeah, I think that is self-explanatory. And then get a plan, because a plan fixes problems. Always have a plan on everything that you do. There is no way that you cannot have a plan when you're doing something. Otherwise, that will fail. Everybody always has a plan on how they do it. Even little kids, they always have a plan, even if they're straying things and all that, but they always have a plan. So always have a plan, because a plan always fixes problems. Yeah. Again, according to Brianna, remember your feelings are not always facts. Whatever you're feeling is not a fact. You just have to find out what is going on. Yeah? It is not a fact. You may feel that this person is not good, this person is like this person is like that, this situation is like this. It's not a fact. At least until it is approved. So, yeah, find your own peace. Find your own peace. For example, in the previous video I talked about that, and I was like, maybe let me just say it out. I was like, take a book, write down everything that makes you feel bad, everything that is taking away from everything that makes you feel bad, and all that. Write them down, and then on the other page, now try to write the opposite of everything that you've written, how you can make it right. That is what I have to do, because I'm in a journey of loving myself more, understanding myself more, and knowing myself more. So I have to know these things. So write down everything that makes you feel bad, and then on the other page, write everything on how you can correct the negatives. That is really going to help. So find your own peace, because this is where your peace is at. This is what is taking away from you. Therefore, you have to write it. Yeah. Create aligned goals. This is where so much of us go wrong. Like, for example, I know my goal at the end of the day is to maybe do this, but then I have two small goals that don't even add to that. For example, let me give a good example on that. Let's say you want to be a teacher in future. You want to be a teacher. So before you get to that, and probably you're not in a position to get to that, but at the end of the day, you want to be a teacher. So the best thing you can do for yourself, maybe start going to, if you go to church, that is, go to Sunday school, teach the kids, grow your public speaking skills. Yeah. After that, then move forward, go to maybe a school or youth, go to youth, take certain roles, start speaking, start teaching and all that. After that, probably you can go to a certain school and say, hey, I want to volunteer, even if it is just arranging the books and all that. By the time you're getting to a teacher, you have sharpened your skills, and you don't have to go through that again. Those are aligned goals. Yeah, make whichever goals that you make sure they help or they will assist in your end game goal. Don't be the kind. Okay, sometimes people are like, you have to learn so many skills. You have to learn so many skills. Skills are good and all that. They help you one way or the other, which they do. I don't despise that fact. But are they aligning to your goal? At the end of the day, are they aligned, or you're kind of person, you went and did engineering, but at the end of the day, you want to be a teacher. You went to for 3 months or 6 months, months to learn about, say, wiring, but at the end of the day, you want to be a doctor. They are not even almost like, they are very different things. So make aligned goals, yeah. Learn to trust yourself again. Ooh, you should learn to trust yourself more. Before trusting anybody else, trust yourself. This is the best thing that you can do for yourself. Trusting yourself. Trusting that whatever you say is true. Trusting that whatever you do, you want to do it and it is right. Trusting yourself is so important. That way you're not pushed away, or um, you're not easily lured to decisions. You're not easily lured to certain things that you don't even approve of. So trusting yourself really helps you in making very clear decisions. Yeah. Find your true purpose. Find your true purpose in life. And she goes ahead and says, if social media did not exist, what would you do with your life? If social media was to be turned off right now, what would you have done with your life? Can you ask yourself that question? If today we just woke up and there was no phone, no nothing, what would you have done with your life? Yeah, whatever you just thought, that is exactly what you should be doing right now. Simple. So find your true purpose. Yeah. Find your principles and then adopt them. You have to find your principle. What guides you? What directs you throughout the day? What guides you before you make any decisions? After you've aligned them, actually write them down. What guides you? What always guides you before you make a decision, a choice, or something of the sort? After you've written them down, now start adapting them. Start working on them. Let them guide you through life, and everything. Job at home, job at home, say games, family, and all that. Gym. Let them guide you. That will be a very straightforward person. Making very silly decisions will be so hard because there is something driving you. Okay? Learn to validate your feelings. If you're feeling bad, imagine you're feeling bad. Don't try to be the person who's kind of, no, maybe they did this because of that, maybe. No, validate your feelings. If you're feeling bad, you're feeling bad. If you're uncomfortable, you're uncomfortable. If you're happy, you're happy. If you don't like it, you just don't like it. And if you don't want to, you simply don't want to. Never let or allow anything change that fact. Yeah? Because that is how we start sabotaging yourself. I mean, you don't want to, but something for some weird reason just pushed you to allowing it. You don't want it, you don't want it. And stand to those principles. You just validate your feelings. Sometimes you first as a mom, like sometimes you're just in a scenario where you're just not comfortable, you're just not okay, or I don't know, something is just happening with the kids especially, and you're like, let them just have it. No, if you don't want it, you don't want it. If you want them to play, you want them to play. If you don't want them to play, you don't want. Simple. Beware of your weaknesses. Oh my god. Now this is another whole topic that she talks about. Beware of your weaknesses. Do you know, once you know your weaknesses, nobody is ever going to take advantage of anything about you. Yeah, that is why so many people are taking advantage of at work, like in their surroundings, in their family, because they know if we work around their weaknesses, then we have them. It is one way people who have power manipulate the rest. They know your weakness is this, so they work around it, and there they have you. So get to know your weaknesses. What are your bare minimums? What are your bare minimums? You as a person, just ask yourself, what are my bare minimums? What are my weaknesses? If you don't know, start finding out about them and it all begins with you just meditating and getting to know you as you. Simple. If it was a biblical version, I'll say go fast and ask God to direct you and show you your weaknesses, to show you what is all about you. Does that again make sense? Yeah, you just fast and ask God to direct you in your life, to show you particular things, to change some things, and all that. Sometimes it's not fasting to ask for things from God. It's just that simple. And then last but not least, be willing to be disliked. Yes, you're not going to be liked if you're this straightforward. Nobody is going to love you, and whoever is going to love you, just know that is a genuine person. That is a very genuine person. So be ready to be disliked. Again, if you are the person who is liked by everybody, then there is a problem. If you're the kind of person who has 50 friends, that is a problem. But if you are a person who has very minimal group, or you just have less or no friends, that is even better because it means you're on the right track. Yeah. So that is all about what Brianna Wiest talks about on how you can work around things that enable you to not sabotage yourself. But then, if you have noticed, I always put a book here. Yeah, this is part of our small library here in the house. So I always put a book here in case you see this video. You always can go and try research about the book, and if it interests you, you can go ahead and read either online or you can purchase the book. That is for the people who really love reading. Yeah? So hope I've helped somebody. Hope I've shed some light. Of course, you can go ahead and buy this book. You're going to really learn a lot. Or you can read it online. Yeah, you can go download a free PDF. Just read it online. It's really going to help you one way or the other. Yeah. So thank you for stopping by, guys. I'm targeting 1,000 subscribers at least by the mid of the year, at least. So if you've not subscribed, kindly do like this video, share, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.